Hi again. So, back on Leave It's, day 2. Basically what I want him to do when I say leave it, the end game is, I want him to move away from it and let's go. I don't want him to sit there and stare at it until I take my mind off of it and have him snag it. I want him to actually move away from it. So I start working on getting the dog to kind of back away from it. And I start with with food in my hand because it's the easiest control. He can't get this if I don't want him to get it. So I've been working with him for a while and I've introduced the command leave it, or the cue, the signal, verbal prompt. And he's such a nut. And I've got him so that he's backing up a little bit when I do this. Sometimes he'll sit. That's not exactly what I want. I want movement. So it's okay if he sits. I'm going to try and capture his behavior though before he gets a chance to sit. I like to toss the treat behind him so that he's learning to kind of move away from the treat, and it also gets him up and moving if he's stationary. Come on, Calvin. So here's how it goes. Leave it. See that little tiny back up? He was actually going to sit, but I was able to capture it before he sat, so that's good. I've got movement going on there. I want backwards movement. Calvin, leave it. So there again is that little backup. Leave it. There we go again. Leave it. So I'm going to see what he does. So did you see he kind of scooched back? He sat, but then he kind of gave me a little another scooch. I wanted to reinforce that, just the sit. I don't want him to learn to sit when I say leave it. That's not going to get him to leave it. Eventually what's going to happen is he's going to sit, he's going to wait until I'm not looking, and then he's going to snag whatever it is I don't want him to have. Leave it. So you can see he's starting to get the hang of like scooching away when I ask him to leave something. Leave it. So you saw he sat, but then he scooched a little bit, so that's what I was reinforcing there. Leave it. Good boy. There you go. Did you get it? Leave it. Something that's really important, because you're not going to walk around doing this to get him to leave stuff alone. You're going to want him to be able to respond to that verbal command, the verbal prompt, the cue, the signal. So you want to say the command first and then show him your hand. Hey, this isn't going to work. Come on, scooch it up. So it looks like this. Leave it, hand. That wasn't the best example of that because he was sitting, but that's okay, or he's lying down when we started. Leave it. So that little head turn,